pandemic has changed attitudes to technology forever. There's no turning back, and contractors are now driving the uptake in a way that has seen the industry take a quantum leap forwards. Site safety, too, is a major beneficiary.
All of a sudden, people couldn't go to work and it was all remote. And fortunately, we had Teams and we had Zoom. We had these real connectivities that allowed people to keep doing their business. I mean, without it, who knows where we would be today. And previously you had, whether that was contractors or business people as a whole, were not all that technically savvy. And yet they realized once they started using these, how their business could keep up working every day. And so I think that took away some of the fear of technology. And so then as they realized that not only connectivity on just for meetings, but I can connect directly to my job in real time. And all of a sudden now I can see what's going on in my job. I can find out how it's progressing. Are we staying on schedule? And if there's machines that aren't working, how do I remotely get those machines fixed and up? It all of a sudden started to sink in that, hey, there's more that we can do with this not being on the job. Or a president that we worked with that said, anytime I go out to a job, I show up, productivity increases by 50%. But he said, when I'm gone, it's not there. But now having the ability to be remotely connected in all the time and see what's going on, people would stay engaged. We could see that the progress was keeping on track, and if it's not, how we could fix it much quicker. So I do think that the pandemic sped up, so to speak, as far as people's willingness to branch out from their traditional way that they've been doing business for generations and said, okay, we got to do it different because I can't get on jobs, I can't get people to go out to the job or kick this. And so technology, our type of technology that we all create, allowed them to do that. And I think it really has changed it in a short amount of time and will continue to take people in that same direction.
It's interesting, Elwyn, because I've spoken to various experts across different industries, and all of them agreed that in some industries, the pandemic certainly accelerated the use of technology in areas, certainly in education as well. What are your thoughts about how the pandemic changed industry attitudes towards those digital solutions? And I'd like you to come back actually to the younger generation, the generation that we're looking at to take up this area, the workforce, the digital natives. What are your thoughts on them?
I absolutely agree with the things that Murray said. We have seen a step function change in the adoption of what we call our kind of connectivity solutions since the pandemic. And I think for us, this is very exciting. We've been touting the benefits of remote connection to machines for years, and the industry has been slow adoption. Construction is such a high pace, frenetic industry that introducing new solutions generally speaking, takes a long time because they just don't have time to learn the tools and to get their heads around them and how to implement them successfully. And I think what we've seen with the pandemic is we had no choice. We all had to find new ways of working to keep productive and to keep working. And for us, the great benefit of that, and I say us, the industry, not just us, Trimble, is that these connectivity solutions that Trimble's been telling about for years can really help here. And so we see things like remote assistance and the ability to remotely push the files out to the machine really took a step function increase in adoption during the pandemic. And that has been great because it's also just a great productivity improvement generally, right? The old days where you had a data manager needing to drive out to site to troubleshoot an issue with a machine or to update the files on a machine. In the old days when I would hear stories of folks doing that, it would kind of make my heart sink, right? It just, what a waste of time to sit in that truck for hours a day driving out to the site to look at those problems when you can do all of that from the office. And the great thing, I should say that, the great thing about the pandemic, that sounds terrible, but we really have seen a significant increase in adoption of those kind of technologies. And I think all of the construction companies who have got over that hump, who have engaged, are really seeing the benefits of it now. the ability to scale the operation, the ability to support more operators from the back office, dialing into their machines and seeing what's on the displays and working through problems is hugely beneficial and has made a big difference.
Magnus, has the pandemic changed industry attitudes towards digital solutions? Has the leveling up taken place now?
Yeah, I will maybe repeat a few things that my colleagues here have mentioned, but it is 100% clear that adoption has accelerated fast. I mean, it's interesting to look at this from the connection point. You know, we have a similar tool, I think, like the rest of you guys, but our Connect solution with View Track Sync has been in the market since I think 2009 or something like that. And then all of a sudden, when this happened, we started to see an increase that was out of this world. And just to understand only the benefit that the rest of you have talked about, but think about the safety increase that this means too. You're not close to the machines, you are actually making sure the machines does the work. They are completely connected to whomever on the site that needs the information. And then no one is close enough to actually be in a risk. This has accelerated our safety portfolio at the same time. And I think that we all know that safety is one of the things that we need to talk about on heavy construction sites. But every tool that we have in this digital journey has been increasing very fast during this time. So yeah, I can only agree. I can't repeat everything because I think we see it very similarly, but it is fascinating. It went very fast when this happened.
And I do think, just to add into that, because you were, as far as the younger generation, they picked right up on it. For them, there is no fear. So once they started using it within a construction company, said, oh wow, they're using it, look what they're doing. And then the others within that, within a year or two started to gravitate and accept it. So the younger generation did help that for sure.